So every year there's a small group of players which really take that leap into, superstardom, all-star, or, a very good role player, or just a huge improvement to what they have been their whole career. Last season, obviously, Lauri Markkanen had that jump. You could say Shea had that jump. He's always been nice, but I guess he is, a superstar now. De'Aaron Fox really took a huge leap, which everyone's been waiting for. And so did Jalen Brunson. A lot more did, Jaren Jackson Jr. won Defensive Player of the Year, the real anchor off that Grizzlies defense. I've got 5 players. It can obviously be like 20, who you could to watch out for to make that jump. And the first one I got to get straight out of the way, Cade Cunningham, the former #1 overall pick. 12 games he played last season, had that shin injury which literally sidelined him for the whole season. That small sample size that we saw in those 12 games, if you're a Pistons fan, now with Monty Williams as your coach, I think Cade's going to have a huge year. Obviously, it might take him a few weeks to get to proper his form. Obviously, coming back from a season-long injury, that's going to halt your development, your fitness and that stuff. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's playing pickup, training hard. But obviously, playing games, it might take him a few weeks till we actually reel him. But in that season, which he had 12 games played, averaged 20 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, had a career high 35 point game. He was looking like that #1 overall pick. Proper impact player. When he plays, the Pistons offense he's literally the identity of their offense. He controls it. He plays his own tempo and pace, which really helps him control the game. And it's kind of the whole reason why he's their offense. Obviously, when he was injured, they're one of the worst teams in the league. Jaden Ivey had a good rookie year. Isn't determined. He played well. He showed flashes. I think him and Cade, that 2-man game is going to be lethal. Cade's such a good playmaker and a smart player. If Jaden Ivey learns to play off ball, or even if he's just in a position for Cade to make a crazy pass towards him to catch and shoot, it'll be crazy. Especially for him and Jalen Duren, that 2-man game as well, the pick and roll, lobs, everything will be great. I'd like to see what Ausar and Cade are like together. Obviously, I think Ausar is definitely more of a point guard player, not the best shooter. Great defender, athletic-wise, and playmaker. So, their point guard rotation is very good, especially for their age and the projection for their future elite. Now, Cade offensively and a bit defensively can do everything. I think defense-wise, he has huge potential on that side of the ball. Monty Williams, like I said, will help with that. I think this will be great for his development. And everyone on that Pistons team, they could definitely make a play-in push. I think they're kind of down with draft picks. They have a good team. Maybe they make a few signings in the future. Still got Bojan's trade to do. He's been on that team for a while. They need to trade him. Let's see who they get for him. But Cade can really do everything on the offense, playmaking-wise, shooting-wise. He does have a bit of a flat 3-point shot. You'd imagine he's working on it. If that's the only thing he's missing. If he gets that 3-point shot, it's done. It's literally MVP caliber player in the future once he hits his prime years. I would not be shocked if he made an all-star team. Obviously, like I said, the injury is we'll see how he comes returning from that injury. Cade's elite though. Cade, one of the best #1 picks in the past 10 years. He's going to prove it this season and show everyone. Next, we got Maxey. I've talked a lot about Maxey in this channel, so I'll try to keep it short. James Harden's not going to be here, probably. The Clippers they've pulled out trade negotiations. Harden's going to be here for a training camp. We'll see how that happens. We'll see if he actually ends up staying. Depending on, I think regardless if Harden's there or not, Maxey's definitely a player to watch out for. Even his trainer said if Max doesn't average 25 points per game this season, I'll be disappointed. I wouldn't go that far, but if he doesn't average close to, I'd be like, where's this jump we're waiting for? Tyrese Maxey can definitely be a superstar guard, 100%. Maybe star, all-star, very talented all-star. I think his absolute free-level scoring is crazy. He's one of the best driving and finishers in the whole league. One of the quickest players in the league. One of the best shooters in the league. His size definitely impacts him, but on the defensive side. But offensive-wise, it is perfect. We do kind of hide him on defense. I think with Nick Nurse now, I think you could definitely see a defensive improvement from Maxey. But yeah, I think we're playing point guard. If Harden doesn't play, I think you play Maxey the point guard. De'Anthony Melton at the shooting guard, or Kelly Oubre. We kind of have a few options. We'll see how it goes. Now, Christian Wood, whose career was taking a rise 2 years ago, then he joined the Mavericks. Jason Kidd was not favourable of him. Kind of took a bit of a fall off. But when he was given his opportunity, he showed that can still play like he was in Houston, where undoubtedly got snubbed from the All-Star team. Was playing so well, had everyone on notice. Now he's on the Lakers, which I think can be a great pickup. Obviously, either goes two ways playing with the Lakers and LeBron. Either you fold because of the pressure, or you shine bright. Hopefully for him, it's a shine bright. I think he can definitely space the floor for AD when he's on the court with him at the same time. I'm not sure. I don't think he will start. I don't think he should start. I think he start AD, Rui Hachimura, LeBron, Austin Reeves, and either Gabe Vincent or D'Lo. But when Christian Wood does play, he could be the 6th or 7th man minimum. He'll stretch the floor. He's a good perimeter shooter. Can hit step back mid ranges, post up. This guy literally is such a complete player. Defensive wise as well, I think the Lakers as a defensive team are phenomenal. I think he will shine bright under David Ham's coaching and playing alongside AD and LeBron. But yeah, I expect a good year from him. Nothing crazy. I think he will flourish in LA. Just how he can complement the other players on that team, especially AD. And this is kind of got to be AD's year to fully take over. Like, I am that number one guy in the Lakers. He should average the most points, be the most dominant player on that team. He was in the playoffs defensively. So LeBron's like 38 now, 39. AD's got to finally take over, which I think he will. Now, I'm going to say Devin Vassell, but you could literally count 5 players on that Spurs roster which are young that you could keep an eye on. Because obviously with Wembanyama on the team, they're going to be on. You're just going to see a lot more about them finally. Obviously, it was like a 4 or 5 year period where you just didn't hear about the Spurs because there's no big player on there. And I've got like the best prospect on the team. You're going to hear a lot about them. They're going to be everywhere. Devin Vassell, though, one of the most underrated players in the league. 18 points per game, 38% from free. Playmaking, obviously, when you look at the assist-wise, you think he's not a great playmaker, but he is. He is just such a gifted scorer. Pull-ups, three-point. I think he will average in the 40 percentile of threes this year. Pull-ups, driving and finishing. He's got such a great structure and build for his position. I believe his instincts, footwork, and decision-making is what kind of separates him from people in his age group and his position. I think that will make him an all-star. He's just such a quality player. He is a good defender. He's an active defender. He hustles. I genuinely think him and Wembanyama is going to be a great two-man game. The whole Spurs team, I expect them to make the play-in. Like, that's how good they are going to be. Not even just because of Wembanyama hype, literally because the team they have around them, and they still have pop. Crazy year for Devin Vassell coming up. Generally one of the most underrated players in the league. Would not be surprised if he averages mid-40s on his three-point shooting. Now, last one, you got Sengun. This guy honestly seems like a mini version of Jokic. His passes are crazy. The way he manipulates the defense makes him think like you don't even see the guy he's passing to. It's so much like Jokic. I think physicality-wise and scoring-wise, you've seen him in Turkey this summer. You can already see the improvements when he's playing. And now he's got Udoka as his coach. Defensively wise, that's going to elevate his game. I feel like that's what he's missing. He will get pushed to become a better defender. Offensively wise as well, he will just become so much improved. Got a lot of good players on the Rockets, which they can even make a play and push. Cam Whitmore, Amen Thompson, Jalen Green. You got all these good players on the Rockets who he can like dine to. I would not be surprised if he averages 7 assists this year plus. Honestly crazy. Like I said, he's became more physical, put on more muscle. He just seems to have elevated himself as a player. And he has undoubtedly one of the most ridiculous highlights in the whole league. Like I said, we expect to get a lot better this season, especially under Udoka. Definitely a candidate for most improved player. I'd probably change my pick and choose him. Big year for him coming up. Definitely could fit a lot more players onto this list. Definitely was hard to only pick 5, but expect a lot of big things for these players.